Good morning, y'all. It's Bales with Southern For Real. It's Saturday morning. Saturday morning at our house means it's time for a hot breakfast. We've gotten through the week. It's time to relax and enjoy. So, what we're set up to do today is some bacon and some really kicked up Southern style homemade grits. Now, I know a lot of you may be from all over the country or all over the world, and you might think grits are a, bland, grainy breakfast food. Tell you what, that's a tragic myth that's been perpetrated by Yankees whose mamas didn't raise them right. So we're going to show you how to make grits that taste great. You can put them with any breakfast or brunch and impress all your friends. So to get started, I've gone ahead and just microwaved 2 cups of water to bring it up to temperature. And I've done that so I can add a little better than bouillon chicken base, which is just going to flavor our cooking liquid. Whether you prefer to use, a stock or a milk product like milk or half and half, or a combination of the two, I really recommend that you, flavor your cooking liquid. It's going to bring a lot of depth to your grits. Alrighty, so we've got our stock all mixed up for our grits. First thing we're going to do is pop our bacon in. It's going into a convection bake oven that's set for 375 degrees. And it's going to take somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. This is actually a new technique we're trying out to reduce the mess a little bit of cooking bacon in a fry pan, and also to reduce the risk of getting burnt by the grease. We all know that doesn't feel good, so we're giving this a whirl. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. And most of the cooking time, as far as this goes, is based on just how you prefer your bacon. If you like it more chewy or more crunchy. So we're just going to check on it after 10 minutes, see how it looks, and go from there. We ought to be able to knock out our grits in the same amount of time. So for anybody out there who might think they don't have time to cook, I'd really like to encourage you that you can eat great quality, great tasting food more cost effectively. And it doesn't have to take you all day. We're going to knock out this whole meal in 10 to 15 minutes. So follow along with us and we'll keep it going. So I'm going to go ahead and add this broth that we've mixed to a saucepan that's just been resting over very low heat. So we don't have all of our ingredients going into something that's starting off cold. And to that, I'm adding half a cup of grits. We're doing grits for 2 this morning, so we don't need too terribly much. And as soon as your grits go in, you want to do 2 things. You want to start stirring, and you want to increase your heat to about a medium, because what you want to do is bring these up to a boil. And between the time that you add your grits to the water and when you achieve that boil, you want to stir them constantly. If you don't stir them, what you're going to end up with is lumpy grits. And nobody likes lumpy, y'all. Alright, as you can see, we got bubbles rising to the surface here. Our grits are at a boil, so we're going to go ahead and turn down that heat. You'll be amazed at how much heat grits hold. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just start seasoning. We're going to add much more later once they've thickened up a bit, but we're going to go ahead and add some kosher salt and black pepper. Again, this is our 50-50 mix of salt and pepper that we like to keep on hand, keep seasoning quick and easy. Give that another quick stir. I've already got the heat turned down to a simmer. Now we're just going to put a lid on it and let it thicken up and get happy. So we want to tell you guys a little bit about the product that we're cooking with this morning. These are my favorite grits that I've found to date for 2 reasons. One, they produce an extremely creamy, high quality finished product, and they also do it in a hurry. So these are Palmetto Farm grits. They're coming out of South Carolina. You can find them at Amazon as well as at certain specialty food stores. Really highly recommended. If you want to be able to put wonderful grits on the table in about 10 minutes, this is the way to go. Alright, y'all, so the bacon's been in for 10 minutes at 375, and just to clarify, I don't want there to be any confusion about this. The cooking temperature that you're really looking for if you're going to bake your bacon in the oven is 400 degrees. Because we're using convection bake, what's typically recommended is that you lower your cooking temperature by 25 degrees, which is why we have it set at 375. So just didn't want there to be any confusion in that regard. Let's see how we're looking. Edges are starting to get nice and crispy, as you can see. It doesn't look to me like it's cooked completely through yet, so we're just going to slide it back in and let it keep rolling for a few more minutes. We'll probably check it again in 2 to 3 minutes. So our grits have been on for exactly 10 minutes. Our bacon's been going for 16 minutes now. We're going to give it another check. And I think that looks great. It looks to me like it's cooked all the way through. It's crispy on both sides. We know it's going to keep cooking just a little beyond where we pull it out. So we're just going to go ahead and set it up here on the rack of the oven. And we're going to go ahead and move our bacon so it can drain on this paper towel. Now, of course, this is going to be hot. Remember, it just came out of a 375 degree oven, so I don't recommend picking it up with your fingers. Alright, so we got our bacon all plated up. We're just going to drop it down into our warming drawer here. You can see we've already got our breakfast plates hot. The back of the warming drawer is the hottest part, so we're going to put the bacon back there. Now we can focus on finishing up our grits. And everything's coming together, y'all. So as you can see, our grits have reduced down. They're becoming thick and creamy. And they're still bubbling away at a low simmer, so it's time to start our seasoning. I don't recommend seasoning before reducing your grits. You don't want to end up with too much salt, especially. So what we're going to start with is about 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste, a little dash of Everglades seasoning. This is Everglades Original, no MSG. Alright, y'all, a secret ingredient for grits in the Bailey house is herbed goat cheese. It's going to add a great, creamy flavor and herbaceousness to our grits. You can get these at most any local grocery store. We're able to get them at our Kroger. So I'm going to add just an ounce of this goat cheese, which is just 1/4 of the package, to our grits today. Just like that. That's perfect. I'm going to give that all a stir. You can see that our tomato paste is already imparting a great color to our grits. This goat cheese is really going to help out the texture. You just want to mix it and get it all nice and melted in there. And a little trick some of you may not know is you really don't want to add butter to your grits until you remove it from the heat. A lot of folks put the butter in right at the beginning, and the issue is when the grits reach their maximum temperature during the cooking process, they'll cause that butter to break. So what you really want to do is get your grits to the consistency that you want them, pull them off the heat, and then stir your butter in as the final step before you go to plate. So we're turning our heat off of our grits, removing the lid. You can see those have thickened up nicely. The goat cheese is all incorporated. Color's looking awesome. Once again, y'all, we don't eat no bland grits down here in the South. Can't believe that stuff. Alright, so now we're going to add our butter. And we don't need a lot. We're just going to go in with a small pat. It's just kind of to finish things off. Add just a little more flavor. Stir it in. You can see the butter gives the grits a nice sheen. Also adds just a little bit of salt, a little more creaminess. That's really all we're looking for here. Alright, before you ring that breakfast bell, you gotta give your grits a taste. Just a final taste to check seasoning. You can always make any adjustments that may need to be made before you go to the table. And remember, they're gonna be hot, so don't go straight from this pot to your mouth, or you will regret it. Oh yeah, Those are delicious. That goat cheese really brings a lot of flavor. Guys, those are so rich, they're almost like a creamy polenta. So if you need to knock out a great breakfast for your friends or family, I highly recommend this approach. We did grits and our bacon in a 375 degree convection bake oven in right at 16 minutes. That's pretty hard to beat. We're going to head outside and enjoy. Please remember to like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed it, and thank you for being part of our channel.